Beth Thorngren with Thorngren Studio Arts, here with our 4th lesson on summer fruit. Today we've chosen papaya. As you can see, I've got a still life set up right in front of me. And we're doing things a little differently today. I have my assistant, Adrienne. She's on the left of me, and she has a different vantage point than I do from the still life. And we're gonna show you how you can take a still life and make it your own. You have a lot of freedom when you have something in front of you. So I will start the lesson, and then we will view in on what Adrienne's doing as she's painting alongside me. She has a different approach to painting. We all do when we're faced with a still life. So it's really exciting to see in a class what everybody comes up with. So let's get started. Okay, so I've got my canvas in front of me, and I've laid out my palette in a counterclockwise manner so that I can apply my paint quickly from one color to the next. So I'm going to start sketching lightly. I've chosen to do it this way. You also have the option to use pencil. Another part of you're in control. You have the freedom. So I'm just going to mix up a little bit of ultramarine blue with the turquoise, keeping it very fluid. A lot more water than I normally use in these quick paintings. And I'm just going to sketch out the still life in front of me, paying attention to the space of the canvas and how I want it to look. I'm visualizing, and I'm going to start up top, come down, and around and up, a little bit here. I'm going to give it a little more weight so I can have some indication of that plate. I just love that blue plate. I used it in last month's with the peaches, if you'll remember. Let's see, very loose, fluid. I'm not going to have to be so rigid and thinking these loose lines can be painted over. One of the good advantages of acrylic is you can paint over it. So I've got my papaya here, the one in the front that's cut. And by the way, if you've ever cut or smelled a papaya, it's not very pleasant. They are probably one of the most healthiest fruit for digestion, they say. And to bear that horrible smell, you're supposed to put a little bit of lime juice on it. I have never eaten one or tried it. Maybe we will after this. So you don't think she's too afraid. The smell is not good. Okay, so I've got my papaya in the back. You know what? I'm going to just go ahead and take that off the canvas there. Just right off. Right there. Indication. Look how loose that is. Just a bunch of scraggly lines. All right. Okay, so starting in, and I had a thin brush to do my sketching. I'm going to grab a large brush because we like to use a larger brush in larger areas. And I'm going to just put in my turquoise blue, XXXXXXX, filling large space quickly. Just around. Nice there. The other side, back down. Notice I'm using directional verbs, up, down, around. I'm not boggling my mind with trying to say papaya, or that helps you a lot. If you could just look at the shape and look at the direction that it goes, and say those directional verbs in your mind as you're going. This goes up, this goes down, this comes around. Get into the habit of looking at shapes and not trying to identify the object in your mind. It will really help background laid in with the turquoise, I'm going to kind of just hit it with a little bit of this ultramarine blue, my next, and just kind of X in a few around the object. Maybe I want a little bit darker here and just a little bit down here. I can pull off the color on my brush, and a lot of the mixing we say happens on the canvas in these quick paintings. Our objective is to get all the white areas on the canvas covered very quickly, and then that way we can go back in and modify and revise. So now I've got my, still have my brush with the ultramarine blue, a little bit, I've pulled it off, hitting the green, the Viridian green, and I'm just gonna go into this back. I work from the top to the bottom, from the back to the front. So I'm gonna start this, just plopping in some of the darker pieces of that papaya. I'll go back into with some blue into there. And I'm just putting them down where I see them. I'm not just quickly wherever I see them. Now I can pull off this blue, excuse me, and clean my brush a little because I'm heading into the yellow. Pull out my yellow. Mixing on the canvas. Notice the directional strokes that I'm making. I'm noticing the object and the way the object moves. Even though it is a still life, it does have movement. And this goes back this way, and I'm telling myself this goes this way. This way, this way, this way. And now, a little more when I need it. Coming around to the bottom. It's just the first stroke. I can modify it. My objective is just to get everything covered. I'll pull off a little more, and you know, I did not pull out any white. White, our key color. We love white. There we go. A little bit of white into my yellow green. Let's get some of these areas up top here. More yellow. Keeping some of my strokes. Some of them you can blend as you go. You can soften up hard edges as you go, just touching the edge. Okay. So I still can go back into my blue and my green. I'm heading on to the front papaya, and I can see from my vantage point, I made a little yellow there, just the edge, like a light green. Edge. Comes up, and it goes down, and it flattens right there. Comes in, and I'm taking that off so it comes all the way around and down. And I can see just a little bit of this edge of the papaya. And the colors I see, I'm just putting them down. A little bit of yellow, a little more yellow into the green. Look at my brush. It has all yellows and greens in there. On these quick paintings, that's perfectly all right. Because I'm able to just get it down where I see it. This way, and then it comes flat. It's dry just a little bit and pop out some of that right in the middle. And around there. Have 2 jars of water. I'm headed into the middle of the papaya. Golden and a little white. Mix into that golden, and then we're going to hit these corner pieces, these edges. Just do the middle. In the background, I can see all those kind of peachy pieces in between those seeds. Let's go ahead and put that in there. Okay. Now I can pull out some of this cadmium red and my cadmium orange. Still having the golden and the white in there, so a big glob there. Most of it's going to mix on the canvas. Painting the direction I see it, I'm seeing it going in toward the middle. So those strokes are smoothing them out as I go. Seeing where I need more punches of red. Now, a long time ago, before photography, people relied on artists to show things and show how things were put together, like the way that this papaya is put together. And all we're doing is recording. We're just recording what we see. Very loose manner we are, more whimsical than a realistic painting. Okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and start on some of these seeds, mixing up black into my blue. Never, as a rule, use black straight out of the tube when you place it on your canvas. It sucks all the life out of your painting. It looks like black holes. So I'm just mixing in the ultramarine blue. I've got a brush that probably is very close to the size of the seeds, and I'm just going to put them in. Just plop them. Plop, plop, plop. There are quite a few. So as I'm doing this, I'm going to switch the focus, and you can see what my assistant Adrian is doing with her approach. It's really fun. So let me just turn the camera this way.
I think you can still see me.
You can still see it, yes. Oh, look at that. She's chosen to crop a few of them, and even though there aren't 3 there, she's taken the liberty of adding more into her composition. What's special about it is that 2 of them are going off the picture plane, where she shows one in full, which is very important if you're going to crop. Always show full on of one, because that gives the viewer the information needed to, what they need to know what the object is they're looking at. There's a little bit of blue and a little bit of this black on my brush, which is kind of cool if you look up close, because I'm almost getting some of the feel of the highlights on these little seeds. Just a little wiggle. Again, I'm not looking for complete exactness. These are whimsical type paintings, fun. And you have the liberty to make it how you. different colors and see how it's a little deeper in the middle, a little deeper in the seeds. So I'll just put in a little more black where I see it and go into the middle. It gives it some depth. How about a few seeds that are coming off? Maybe some of them come off the plate. Maybe you've zoomed in so closely in your composition that all you're seeing is this multitude of seeds. However you want to do it. And I can always add more later. Okay, wiping off, touch your seed. Little brush. I'm gonna go back into my, I still have this ultramarine blue and black here, and I'm gonna give this some weight. Actually looks like it's sitting on the plate. Just a little shadow there. Ultramarine blue, turquoise. And if you don't want to do the color blue on your plate, maybe you choose another color. Again, it's up to you, how you interpret the still life. Mixing on the canvas, blending that in. And just about through. You'll see an updated version after the filming. I plan to go back into this back papaya and give it a more rounded feel. Right now my paint is too wet. This thick paint doesn't dry as quickly as if you were to do thin layers. And that's fine. I'm just painting it right up to the, I'm trying to blend that and take advantage of this wet on wet. Wow, look at Adrian's. That looks really fun. That looks like summer tropical fruit, like we're in the Central America or something. I'm gonna just take my big brush, dip it in the white and into this blue mixture of my plate. Come in. Like blue down the bottom. Indicate a table, just some, you don't have to do such a hard edge, just a nice soft. I can blend that down and come back in my background. A little more background. We've done a speeded up version of this one today, but this will conclude our month, July, of fresh fruit. Stay tuned for the next series. We're going to focus on things from the garden. And I hope you've enjoyed this summer series of fruit and you're feeling more comfortable just applying the paint, very immediate, and mixing it on the canvas, because you can always go back in and refine, and that's what I plan to do. How about you, Adrian? Are you gonna refine yours, or?
No, I'm not going to go. I'm going around the thing pretty much.
Yeah, okay. Good. You always have to have a plan. It's just about solving problems. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye.